Grand Theft Auto Advanced 2000. Fast forward 2 short years and the focus of Liberty City's criminal world shifts towards a man named Mike. Mike is a small-time criminal working for a more connected man named Vinny. The two of them plan to leave Liberty City to see how well they might fare somewhere else. However, Vinny convinces Mike to do a few final tasks for the Mafia before they go. On one of their missions, Vinny is killed by a car bomb, leaving a devastated Mike hungry for revenge. He begins working for 8-Ball, an associate of Vinny's and Tony's from 2 years before. After a few jobs, 8-Ball forwards him to a criminally connected bartender named Johnny. Johnny is incredibly paranoid, but his paranoia turns out to be well-founded. When Mike returns from a loan shark job, he finds Johnny dead and sees the assailant leave the bar. He recognizes them as members of the Uptown Yardies, so he pursues them to the Staunton Island. Once there, Mike confronts their leader, King Courtney, about Johnny's death. Courtney denies responsibility and claims he was also looking for Johnny's killer, because Johnny owed him gang money. Not for anything noble. Mike does some jobs for the Yardies, knowing all the while they are using him. He's sent to go after a man named Cisco, the leader of the Colombian cartel. But Cisco warns Mike of Courtney's intent to screw him over. Mike switches over to work for the cartel and for the Yakuza, specifically for one of the Yakuza co-leaders, Oscar Casson. Mike soon finds Cisco dead, and after chasing down the assailant's car, the killer is revealed to be Vinny. Bum bum bum. He had faked his death and had been plotting against Mike the entire time. A shootout between Mike and Vinny's men ensued, and Vinny gets wounded, and Mike finally kills him. No mercy. After taking care of Vinny, Mike meets up with 8-Ball, but then they're attacked by cartel members who blame Mike for Cisco's death. Soon the police show up, 8-Ball gets arrested, and Mike manages to escape. Next, Mike finds Cisco's successor and tries to get even with him when Mike learns that King Courtney had called out a hit on him for his money. Mike then goes on a rampage across the city, taking down the Yardies hitman and meeting up with Oscar, who decides to help him kill King Courtney. At the Yardies hideout, the Yakuza members who came with him flee the scene, leaving Mike to face Courtney on his own. Courtney surrenders, but before Mike can take any action, the Liberty City police raid the place. Mike manages to elude the cops once again, boarding Cisco's plane and fleeing Liberty City, finally, like he'd always wanted. Grand Theft Auto 3, 2001. Unfortunately, not everyone can escape the seedy parts of Liberty City. Cesar Villalpando's sister Catalina moves to Liberty City from San Andreas with her boyfriend Claude, and the two of them take up a life of crime. During a bank robbery, Catalina betrays Claude and shoots him, fleeing the scene with a Colombian cartel member named Miguel. Claude survives, but is arrested and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Things are looking kinda bleak for him, but luckily cartel members attack the police convoy holding him, 8-Ball, and a high-level Colombian cartel boss. Claude escapes with 8-Ball and introduces him to the Leone family. Salvatore, his son Joey, and Tony Cipriani, who's now a capo. Claude works for the family and fights the Colombians, who are led by Catalina and Miguel as they distribute a new drug nicknamed Spank. Salvatore Leone tries to have Claude killed, but Leone's wife Maria is fond of him, probably because she's been having an affair with him, and so she saves Claude just in time from the trap. She, Claude, and the Yakuza member Oscar Casson flee Portland to Staunton Island. From there, Claude begins working for the Yakuza. Oscar tasks him with assassinating Salvatore Leone, effectively severing all his ties with the Leone family. Claude allies with a corrupt police detective named Ray Machowski and helps him flee to Vice City. Claude also meets Donald Love, who's become a media mogul in Liberty City. Together, Claude and Love arrange the death of Oscar's brother to start a war between the cartel and the Yakuza, and it's all to lower real estate prices in the area. Claude finally confronts Catalina after her betrayal, but she barely manages to escape. Oscar kidnaps Miguel, thinking he had insider knowledge about the death of her brother. She has no idea that Claude was the real culprit. Meanwhile, the war with the cartel intensifies, and after learning about Claude's history with Catalina, Oscar forces him to sabotage the cartel. In retaliation, the cartel murders Oscar and Miguel and kidnaps Maria Leone, demanding a $500,000 ransom in exchange for her life. Again, Claude faces off against Catalina as she tries to have him killed. After a wild firefight, Claude escapes and Catalina tries to flee in a helicopter, making a last-ditch attempt to get rid of Claude. Claude rescues Maria and shoots down the helicopter, finally killing the person who's caused him so much trouble. He and Maria leave the scene, but Maria starts babbling, complaining about being kidnapped and the state of her appearance. And as the credits roll, a final gunshot is heard, silencing Maria and ending the 3D saga.
Grand Theft Auto is an iconic series in gaming. With over 140 million copies shipped worldwide, GTA 5 is the second best-selling video game of all time, right behind a little title called Minecraft.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid? A good kid.
Why? Does he help the poor? No. He sits on his all day, smoking dope and jerking off while he plays that game. If that's our standard for goodness, no wonder this country's screwed.
Before we jump to the dates that define Grand Theft Auto 5, let's take a look at the team behind this massive success. GTA 5 is developed by Rockstar North. Prior to joining Rockstar Games, this development studio based in Edinburgh was known as DMA Design Limited. After the release of Grand Theft Auto 3 and its worldwide success, Rockstar renamed the studio Rockstar North. Rockstar North created new video games like Manhunt, a stealth and survival horror game for the PlayStation 2. The studio also helped develop other Rockstar games such as Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, and Max Payne 3. April 2008, Rockstar North begins working on a successor to Grand Theft Auto 4. This UK-based studio is soon joined by other Rockstar studios, which has 1,000 developers working on Grand Theft Auto 5 from all around the world. September 2009. The first mention of Grand Theft Auto 5 publicly dates back to this year, only 17 months after Grand Theft Auto 4's release. During an earnings call, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick dodges a question regarding a possible Grand Theft Auto 5 with a funny yet corporate answer.
So we're not going to announce it. We're not going to announce when we're going to announce it, and we're not going to announce the strategy about announcing it or about when we're going to announce it either, or about the announcement strategy.
November 2009. Dan Houser, vice president of Rockstar Games, gives an interview to The Times regarding his work on the Grand Theft Auto series. He wanted to create a 1,000-page script for the next opus and design a brand new city inspired by a real one. For him, the rest of the story will naturally flow from there. July 2010. Rockstar North publishes 7 job posts for their upcoming game. The company is looking for environment artists, physics programmers, and character animators with experience developing third-person action games. Later that year, Rockstar finds the actors to play the 3 protagonists of Grand Theft Auto 5. Ned Luke, Sean Fantino, and Stephen Ogg join the team, playing Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. The actors began working with motion capture technology 3 years before GTA 5's release date.
Shitty little life, isn't it? You can wander around here all day doing whatever horrible thing you want to do. Make $1 million, as many hot strippers as you want to do. I mean, this is a consequence-free wonderland of shit. Just waiting for your next idea. In its own f***ed-up way.
Perfect.
October 25th, 2011. Rockstar Games announces the newest opus from the Grand Theft Auto franchise, GTA 5. This action-adventure game follows the adventures of 3 main characters: Michael DeSanta, a retired bank robber, Franklin Clinton, a street gangster, and Trevor Phillips, a drug dealer and arms smuggler. The story is set in Los Santos, a fictional city based on Los Angeles.
What can I do for you?
Just came by to see if there's something I can help you with. I see you doing well for yourself.
Look, I'm retired.
Ain't you a bit young for the pipe, slippers, and staring at a f***ing sunset?
You know, I've been in this game for a lot of years, and I got out alive. That makes me the right age.
November 2nd, 2011. Rockstar unveils the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. This is where we first meet Michael, Franklin, and Trevor in Los Santos. The city looks like heaven for Michael's retirement, with perfect weather, sports activities, and just enough nature for a modern city. Initially scheduled for the second quarter of 2013, the launch date is later pushed back to September 17th. December 13th, 2011. Before the game has even come out, GTA 5 receives its first award. The 2012 Spike Video Game Awards honor Grand Theft Auto 5 with the Most Anticipated Game Award, a little less than 2 years before its launch. November 14th, 2012. Rockstar reveals a little more about GTA 5 with a second trailer for the game.
You are out of business. The Lost MC are out of business. The guns and crank in this area go through Trevor Phillips Enterprise, or they ain't going.
Saying something don't make it true.
March 31st, 2013. To tease the upcoming release of Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar hires artists to paint a mural on a wall in Manhattan. The mural features the game's cover art. April 2nd, 2013. Rockstar releases the Grand Theft Auto 5 official cover art, featuring Michael, Franklin, and Trevor in action-packed situations. The artwork also features English model Shelby Wellender as a blonde beachgoer. Actress Lindsay Lohan would later lose a lawsuit claiming that Take-Two Interactive used her likeness for the picture. April 26, 2013. Rockstar officially introduces the 3 main characters of Grand Theft Auto 5. Michael DeSanta is a retired bank robber living a peaceful family life in Los Santos. Playing as a father living with his family is a first for the Grand Theft Auto series, usually featuring loners. Franklin Clinton is a street hustler. He joined a local gang when he was a kid and makes a living dealing drugs, stealing cars, and robbing banks. Trevor Phillips is an eccentric career criminal. His main activities are drug dealing, arms smuggling, and various other crimes. July 9th, 2013. Rockstar reveals the first gameplay footage of Grand Theft Auto V. For the first time, players will be able to switch between 3 characters simultaneously, even while driving or shooting. August 15th, 2013. GTA 5 unveils its multiplayer mode. Grand Theft Auto Online allows up to 30 players to commit a variety of crimes together or against each other. You can also just hang out with your friends, do base jumps, ride bicycles, or beat up people on the streets. August 25th, 2013. The development of GTA 5 is finally complete. Rockstar can now submit the game for manufacturing 3 weeks before GTA 5's release date. The total development and marketing costs of GTA 5 amount to over $265 million, making Grand Theft Auto 5 the most expensive game ever made at the time. Since that time, Rockstar Games has beaten its own record with Red Dead Redemption 2 and its budget of around $500 million. August 29th, 2013. Rockstar unveils one last trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5 before its release date. September 16th, 2013. One day before they officially release Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar releases a mobile app to serve as a companion for the game. Called Grand Theft Auto iFruit, this app allows players to log into the Rockstar Games social club from anywhere, receive GTA 5 news, and stay connected to the game's social network, Life Invader. September 17th, 2013. Grand Theft Auto 5 finally releases on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Despite some criticism regarding the story and characters, GTA 5 quickly sets itself apart as one of the most popular games of its generation. The game is the 5th highest rated on Metacritic and is the second Western game to be awarded a perfect score from the Japanese video game magazine Famitsu after The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim from Bethesda. September 18th, 2013. Within 24 hours of its release, Grand Theft Auto V breaks all records by generating over $815 million in revenue. The sales of Grand Theft Auto increased by over 162% between GTA 4 and GTA 5 on launch day. September 20th, 2013. 3 days after its release, Grand Theft Auto V crosses the milestone of $1 billion in sales. Analysts estimated the game would reach $1 billion in about a month, but the game outperforms predictions and becomes the fastest-selling entertainment product in all of history. September 2013. By the end of the month, Grand Theft Auto V is the best-selling game of September and even breaks records from previous years. The sales of Grand Theft Auto V represent over 50% of software sales and increases overall software sales by 52% compared to September 2012. October 1st, 2013. Players can team up in GTA 5's multiplayer mode called Grand Theft Auto Online. Players can create their own character in Los Santos, commit various crimes, and eventually build their own syndicate. The main activities in Grand Theft Auto Online, besides living your best gangster life, are racing, killing each other, or completing cooperative storyline jobs called contract missions. Grand Theft Auto Online receives mixed reactions. At first, the mode was too unstable to play, leading to backlash from both fans and media. After several updates and additional content, Grand Theft Auto V is now praised for its multiplayer. Grand Theft Auto Online even received an award for the Best Game Expansion during the 2019 Golden Joystick Awards, but more on that later. October 7th, 2013. GTA 5 becomes the best-selling digital release on the PlayStation Store for PlayStation 3, taking the crown from The Last of Us. October 8th, 2013. GTA 5 breaks 7 Guinness World Records: best-selling video game in 24 hours, best-selling action-adventure video game in 24 hours, highest-grossing video game in 24 hours, fastest entertainment property to gross $1 billion US, fastest video game to gross $1 billion US, highest revenue generated by an entertainment product in 24 hours, and the most viewed trailer for an action-adventure video game. October 18th, 2013. Rockstar releases a digital version of GTA 5 for the Xbox 360. The game became the highest-grossing one-day and one-week release on Xbox Live. October 25th, 2013. GTA 5 is named Game of the Year during the 31st Golden Joystick Awards ceremony, also known as the People's Gaming Awards.